Sponsored by Black Magic Design, the world's highest quality products for the feature film, post and broadcast industries. blackmagicdesign.com. And by JMR Rentals, jmrny.com.
Up next, we've got some upcoming movie and streaming releases for you. Here's what's coming soon to Netflix. Coming to Netflix on November 17th, we've got Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, the animated series based on the manga comic and the film Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, starring Michael Cera, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Brie Larson, among others, who will return to reprise their roles from the movie. If you haven't seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, definitely check it out. It's directed by Edgar Wright, and it's definitely a cult classic. Also streaming on Netflix on December 20th is Maestro, the biopic about legendary composer-conductor Leonard Bernstein. You can check out my review of that film on our previous episode where we covered New York Film Festival. Maestro will also have a limited theatrical run starting on November 22nd. Then on Netflix on December 22nd, we've got Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire. This is from the mind of Zack Snyder, the filmmaker behind 300, Man of Steel, and Army of the Dead. Rebel Moon is an epic sci-fi fantasy starring Sophia Boutella, Charlie Hunnam, Ray Fisher, and Carey Elwes. Here's the synopsis. When a peaceful settlement on a moon in the furthest reaches of the universe finds itself threatened by the armies of the tyrannical regent Blisarius, Cora, a mysterious stranger living among the villagers, becomes their best hope for survival. Tasked with finding trained fighters who will unite with her in making an impossible stand against the Mother World, Cora assembles a small band of warriors, outsiders, insurgents, peasants, and orphans of war from different worlds who share a common need for redemption and revenge. As the shadow of an entire realm bears down on the unlikeliest of moons, a new army of heroes is formed. This looks interesting. Zack Snyder seems to be having himself a Star Wars. If it's anything like its previous work, I'm sure we're going to get tons of cool visuals, super slow motion, and awesome action. Coming soon to theaters in November, we've got Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The Hunger Games prequel stars Rachel Zegler, who starred as Maria in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, and recently in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Zegler stars with Viola Davis, Time Blythe, and Peter Dinklage. I'm not the biggest Hunger Games fan, but I know it's a popular series, and I'm sure Lionsgate is looking to this one to start another saga. Let's see if they can pull it off. Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes hits theaters November 17th. On November 22nd, Sir Ridley Scott's Napoleon invades theaters, starring Joaquin Phoenix in the titular role. According to IMDb, the film takes a personal look at Napoleon Bonaparte's origins and his swift, ruthless rise to power, viewed through the prism of his addictive and often volatile relationship with his wife and true love, Josephine. Sir Ridley Scott worked with Joaquin Phoenix on a previous epic, Gladiator, where Phoenix played another emperor, the Emperor of Rome. Scott has directed classics like Alien and Blade Runner. The legendary director has been on a tear in recent years, directing movies such as The Last Duel and House of Gucci, with multiple projects in the works. He has nearly 60 directing credits. He's in his mid-80s, and he's about to have another birthday coming up on November 30th. So happy birthday, Sir Ridley. On December 15th, we've got Wonka, the story of Willy Wonka's early years. According to IMDb, the film based on Roald Dahl's character from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Wonka tells the story of how the world's greatest inventor, magician, and chocolate maker became the Willy Wonka we know and love today. Wonka stars Timothee Chalamet as young Willy and Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompa. This is a Willy Wonka origin story. I don't know who was asking for this, but I said it before. Strong IP in Hollywood never dies. It looks like they're going for grand and epic out of this one. I like Timothee Chalamet. He was good in Dune. Let's see what they'll do with this one. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom splashes into theaters on December 20th. The film stars Jason Mamoa and Amber Heard, reprising their roles from the previous Aquaman. According to IMDb, Arthur/Aquaman must enlist the help of his brother Orm in order to protect Atlantis against Black Manta, who has unleashed a devastating weapon in his obsessive quest to avenge his father's death. There have been a lot of rumors and conjecture surrounding the making of this film. According to James Gunn, who was brought on to retool the DC Universe at Warner Brothers, this film is not part of the new canon he's creating, so that might have some effect on whether or not audiences come out. The first Aquaman movie did really well. It was a huge hit for Warner Brothers. I saw it. I found it rather exhausting. I felt like they were attempting to make about 5 different movies, couldn't decide which one, and said, what the hell, why don't we just make them all? I'm curious to see how this film does, or if people still care about the remnants of the Zack Snyder DC universe. So this could tank or make another $1 billion. I honestly don't know which. Coming to theaters this Christmas is Ferrari, which was featured at this year's New York Film Festival. We reviewed that on our New York Film Festival episode. I definitely recommend it. You should check it out. And I would say look for this one come award season.